Hello and happy Friday. I'm Anson, and we are kicking off a brand new series this weekend. To set it up, I want to go back to the end of our previous series, Practice Makes Progress, where we looked at this invitation at the end of Philippians to make progress toward becoming generous people. We talked about how generous people in our lives are usually our favorite people to be around. They're the ones who invite us into their circles. They're the ones who open their homes to us. They're the ones who help us in times of need. They're the ones who make a difference in the world by getting involved in causes that matter. In short, the givers in our lives are the people that are the ones who have the biggest impact on us and the greatest blessing to us. And we talked about how that's the kind of people we want to be. That's certainly the kind of person I want to be. I aspire toward becoming more generous, and I hope you do too. But for many of us, it's not a question of want to, it's a question of how to. We feel stuck in the practical restraint of what we've got. We did make the point that becoming generous is not about being wealthy or always getting more, because many people who have a lot aren't generous at all. And some people who don't have much live lives that are very generous, like the Philippian church did that we read about. So it's not about becoming wealthy. It's about becoming generous and taking steps to be able to do that. So last week we talked about giving as an act of worship. We talked about becoming content. We got a daily drill on becoming content. Wonder how you're doing with that. Saying, I have more than enough before you go shopping. And we're going to enter into a next series where we're going to continue on how to make this happen, how to become more generous people by managing what God has given us with wisdom and according to the ways that he calls us to in the Bible. So we're calling this Make It Count, where we're going to look at God's perspective on money and wealth. And we're going to take a big picture view of this. There's really three things that we do with our money. We can spend it, we can save it, and we can give it. And all three are important, and all three are blessings that we are able to lean into biblically. So we're going to start this week with the opportunity to use our spending in ways that express our gratitude to God, our delight in what he has given us. And we're going to go to the Old Testament book of Ecclesiastes for wisdom in this area of life. One of the great phrases in Ecclesiastes, one of the most famous quotes from the Bible, even people who have no idea about the Bible, several times through Ecclesiastes, the writer says, the best thing you can do is to eat, drink, and be glad. Eat, drink, and be glad in the work that God has called us to do, and gratefully appreciate what he's given us. One of the times that it shows up in Ecclesiastes, the word prosperity is used. It says, enjoy your prosperity by eating and drinking and being glad and grateful for the opportunities that you have. And so the spending that we have the opportunity to do based on whatever prosperity God has given us is a gift of God, and it's something that we shouldn't be ashamed of or embarrassed by. We are to enjoy our prosperity. And so we're going to look at that in Ecclesiastes, how we can spend, but spend wisely, recognizing that there are other important things that we have to do with our money as well. And we'll get to those in subsequent weeks. So looking forward to this weekend, digging into this book that we don't go to all that often in the Old Testament, Ecclesiastes, where we're looking for God's perspective on money and wealth, because we want to make it count in the life that we have. All right, I've said a lot in this video. I'm excited to get into this series with you. I hope you'll join us this weekend in person or online, as together we take steps toward making it count with God, with what God has given us in this life. All right, hope to see you soon, but until then, have a great weekend.